It's now the middle of summer, and in Shanghai, the project to build a replica of a cave in the Kucha Grottos has reached its final stage. The sections and colours of the fresco reproduction have been matched again and again, and the work of mounting the frescoes is nearly done. All the reproduced frescoes have been mounted, except for the Maitreya Bodhisattva, which will be put on the front wall of the main chamber.
你现在这个中线肯定是中线吧，就是这个点肯定是的啊。那么这个就中线和它的距离，这个中线，吉祥寺的中心线。
是呀，正好呀，正好这样。
现在讲的第15，我们这刮不短了。
还可以。很多嘞。
要是。
有一个动作，
来，兄弟们。
这是不可能。
After all the reproduced frescoes have been mounted, the grotto replica is dismantled. It's being sent to a display site in Shanghai's Jinshan district. While the grotto replica is being transported, Wang Wenjie has embarked on a journey to Berlin. He's coming here because more than 100 years ago, some of the Kucha frescoes were taken to Berlin. The Berlin Museum of Asian Art is located in the city's western suburbs. Tang Hong, a local Chinese artist, leads Wang to meet the curator of the Central Asia Art Section.
Frau Rosa-Smith, darf ich mal heute vorstellen, unsere Herr Wang?
王先生，欢迎领导我们博物馆来。
哟，你那个中文说那么好。
感恩。我原来的专业不是旧瓷，就是徽护这个Uyghur patronage in 敦煌。
那我们也做了很多调查，在海外就中国壁画流失在海外的，尤其是新疆壁画流失在海外，藏品最多的就是在那个德国的柏林亚洲艺术博物馆。是不是请你带我们去具体的参观一下？
我们非常高兴您来，现在我们就可以走了。
方便吗？好的，谢谢啊。
Almost all the objects displayed in the prominent places in the museum are cultural relics from Xinjiang. A large number of Kucha frescoes can be seen on the walls of the exhibition hall.
We have about 220 wall paintings, but some of them are really huge and some of them are really tiny. We have about 600 wooden objects. Again, these range from beautiful Buddha statues, about this large, to tiny little archaeological objects. There are also other archaeological objects, including coins and objects used for everyday life, like in any Silk Road collection.
The sculptures and frescoes have been well preserved, but Wang Wenjie feels sad when he thinks about how they were removed and brought to Germany. From 1902 to 1914, the Berlin Museum of Ethnology sponsored 4 expeditions to Xinjiang. Among the main members were Albert Grünwedel, Albert von Lecaux and J. Baltus. During their 4 trips to Xinjiang, they took away 433 trunks of cultural relics weighing about 35,000 kilograms. Many of them were frescoes that they peeled from the walls in Kucha. The blank areas that the frescoes once occupied can still be seen in the grottos there. Some of the drawings depicting the life of the Buddha that the German explorers brought back from Xinjiang were to face yet another crisis. All the Kucha frescoes once kept in the Berlin Museum of Ethnology are now in the Berlin Museum of Asian Art, but only a small number of them are on display. The others are kept in storage beneath the museum. Dr. Klaas Ruitenbeek, director of the Berlin Museum of Asian Art, is a specialist in ancient architecture. Despite his busy schedule, he studies the relics of buildings from Kucha whenever he can spare some time.
Den würde ich auch sehr gerne ausstellen, weil der sehr, sehr...
我一个人去乌鲁木齐，然后去库车克泽尔参观石窟，因为柏林我们有这么重要的新疆来的文物，我想一定要自己看一下。那对我来说影响很大。我们这里展览的珍品，在中国就是个大窟窿，那非常遗憾。当然我知道那个时候的做法不对，按照现在的看法，当然完全错了。我也去北京拜访国家文物局的一些领导，老老实实的讨论过我们这些藏品它的来源。这些文物现在在柏林是历史，可是我们应该向未来看，最重要的是一起研究，一起发表。Ja, ja, das ist ja ganz toll. Und was ist das für Holz? Ist schwer zu sagen. Irgendwie.
Ich weiß.
Ulme, oder, nee, nicht Ulme, da, das geht aber.
The simulated grotto was reassembled on the exhibition site in Shanghai's Jinshan district. Workers remedy the damage to the simulated grotto caused during transport, and Mr. Din patches up the seams between the parts of the fresco reproduction. A simulated mountain is being built to house the grotto. Workers are building an artificial mountain which will look very like the one at the Kitzel Grottos. The blank areas on the wall inside the cave are covered with yellow plaster, which is made with the clay that Wang Wenjie brought back from the Kumtula grottos in Xinjiang. Its colour is very close to the colour of the clay in the grottos. A projector will be concealed in a chamber in the artificial hill. A blank area on the wall inside the replica of Cave 17 will serve as a multimedia screen to show various scenes from the Kucha Grottos.
Ja, schönen guten Tag. Das Telefon hätte ich ganz gerne.
Selbstverständlich, bitteschön.
Ja, danke.
The museum is closed on Mondays, but for Mr. Tarov Gabj, Monday is the busiest day. Since the founding of the Berlin Museum of Asian Art in 1996, he's been engaged in the study and repair of cultural relics from Kucha in Xinjiang.
Ideale Luftfeuchtigkeiten von 50% über das Jahr verteilt und eine Temperatur, die zwischen 20 und 22 Grad liegt. Die ca. 700 Quadratmeter in unserem Museum ausmachen, sind in einem konservatorisch stabilen Zustand. Das heißt, wir haben vereinzelt Abrieb an der Oberfläche, wir haben Vergrauungen, aber wir haben einen stabilen Zustand der Wandmalereien, auch bedingt dadurch, dass mittlerweile seit weit über 40 Jahren an diesem Museum, an den Wandmalereien nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg intensiv gearbeitet wird und wir sagen können, dass diese Wandmalereien in einem optimalen Zustand untergebracht sind in diesem Museum.
The Berlin Museum of Asian Art is holding an exhibition entitled Along Grunwiedel's Path. Cultural relics from Kucha are the main exhibits, as well as the results Albert Grunwiedel obtained in his studies of the grottos and the achievements the museum has made in its efforts to restore the Kucha frescoes in recent years. Stored in these archives are glass negative plates of the photos taken by Grunwiedel and other members of the exploration team. Grunwiedel was a Buddhist art scholar, so the reports, drawings and photos he left behind are a valuable reference material for the study of the Kucha frescoes. Dr. Dreyer is a specialist in the negative plates of photos taken in the last century.
Genau können wir das nicht sagen, weil das wie gesagt Glasnegative sind, die auch kaputt gegangen sind. Aber wir haben ungefähr 1500 Fotos als Glasnegative noch vorhanden, die in Zentralasien gemacht worden sind. Die gesamte Sammlung ist ungefähr 9000 Bilder, aber auch Museumsaufnahmen, die im Museum hier gemacht worden sind.
When they were displayed in the 1920s in Berlin, the world was surprised by these elegant frescoes. But then, another disaster befell them. When Allied forces bombed Berlin during World War II, some of the frescoes were shifted elsewhere for safekeeping. However, many of them were destroyed during the bombardment. Traces of those that were destroyed are preserved in some of the photos. After the Soviet army took over Berlin, they took away some of the frescoes that had survived the war. According to statistics from Mr. Gabsch, about half of the Kucha frescoes kept in Berlin were lost. This is a miniature model of Cave 8 of the Kucha Grottos. Grunwiedel named it Cave of 16 Swordsmen because there are portraits of 16 of the cave's benefactors. The portraits and almost all the frescoes in the rear chamber of the cave are displayed in this exhibition hall. The wall in the rear chamber of Cave 8 is bare, and only some frescoes remain in the main chamber. Those in the rear chamber and the rest of those in the main chamber are now stored far away. More and more specialists in China and abroad are becoming interested in the study of cultural relics from Kucha. The cultural value of the Kucha frescoes is now widely acknowledged. Ye Mei is the director of the Protection Office of the Kucha Research Institute. She and her colleagues are reinforcing the frescoes in Cave 47. Ye Mei, who is of the Kazakh ethnic group, works with colleagues of the Han, Uyghur and other ethnicities. They watch over this precious legacy with great care. As the leader of the fresco protection team, Ye Mei is determined not to let the remaining frescoes suffer ever again.
70年代建立了东方红水电站，对那个库木托拉石窟，特别沿河这一带的壁画危害是很大的。水电站运营以后，就会造成水位上升，然后淹了下面这一批石窟，所以破坏挺严重的。
Wang Jianlin is a veteran of the Research Institute. He was present when some of the Kucha grottos were flooded.
75年春天，我们是顺着这个木扎地河进行考察。到了第4天出山的时候，在我们眼前是一片汪洋，对面就是库木托拉，整个是在这个水里边。那我们全部就是下到水里边去看洞窟，看完洞窟呢，非常伤心。对我感触太深了。我们这么好的艺术，这么好的国宝，结果是在这个水里边。但是那个时候只能是心里伤心，但又没有办法。当时的库车、拜车和新河都有很多的石窟，但是没有统一的管理，造成很多的这个洞窟的损失。1986年成立了新疆秋子石窟研究所。 这个时候呢，真正的就是把秋子石窟全部统一到一起，进行管理、进行研究。
In the Kucha Grand Canyon, 70 kilometers from the county town of Kucha, there's a unique land formation. Wang Jianlin, an amateur photographer, often takes photos of these marvelous natural scenes when he comes here to visit the Kucha Grottos. The Kucha Grottos are located deep in the mountain valley. In April 1999, a farmer living in a nearby village was out collecting medicinal herbs along the mountain when he found this cave by accident. It's located on a sheer cliff 30 meters above ground level. The frescoes in this cave bear features of the Central Plains artistic style. They look like those in the Morgao grottos in Dunhuang. The inscriptions on the frescoes are written in Chinese. They testify to the mutual influence between the cultures of Xinjiang and the Central Plains. This cave, found toward the end of the 20th century, provided a new source for the study of Kucha culture in the 21st century.
It's in fact a very, very tiny motif here. These flying birds with rings in their beaks. Grunwald named them doves, but in fact they are a very typical symbol. Typically we have this on silks. Then it was the habit of the German expedition to name each cave according to a motif or their size. For example, one is called the biggest cave. So in this case he gave the name Cave of the Ring-Bearing Doves. If you look at that part,
The Berlin Museum of Asian Art also has a model of a grotto. The difference is that it uses original frescoes direct from the source. The grey areas are restored sections. This model was built according to the description in historical records. The original frescoes lend an air of authenticity to the model grotto that laser printouts simply can't match. Wang Wenjie has returned from Berlin to work on the model of Cave 17. He will remedy the blemishes on it with his painter's brush. The following day, the grotto receives its first group of visitors. Wang Wenjie has resumed his work in his studio as well as his teaching.
你这个面和这条线之间连起来的话，封闭的话，它气就通过去，这个手又接起来，就不掉下来。那这里看就是掉下来，但这里是线没有的，但这里是还有，这里是有一点。
The exploration of Kucha culture is still very much underway. There can be no doubt that many more secrets are waiting to be disclosed.